Welcome back, everybody, to the Hearthstone Legendary Series Season 1 Finals. We're getting ready to move into Group B. We've had 3 matches so far. We're halfway through the day. And, of course, we have a special guest on the couch. It's Mr. Saltman himself, Liquid Savits. That's right, man. What happened after that match, dude? You just walked away without shaking hands.
Yeah, it was really disappointing for me. It's a long travel, and this is an important event, so I was just extremely disappointed in myself, and I kind of handled it poorly. My apologies to Silent Storm. And we shake hands in the backstage, and everything is cool now. I mean,
It's good.
Yeah, it was just really disappointing. I just wanted to get out as fast as I can. That was pretty bad, but oh well.
You're apologizing a little bit too quickly if you wanted to copy the man next to you in terms of how to do that salt kind of stuff, but really well done to Silent Storm for how he's been able to play so far, and he's going to have an opportunity tomorrow. You also will. You're not out of it yet, and maybe we'll be able to see that action happen tomorrow. In the meantime, our Group B, we're going to be starting to get underway. We have guys like Dark Wanix, Chalky, and the 2 Taiwanese players. A little bit unfortunate that the two players from Asia are going to be matching up directly in the first round, because you said you were a big fan of their play, right, Raynan?
Yeah. Ping had probably my favorite play of like anybody that I saw in the ESL series, like leading up to the finals. Him and Zalay, I really liked a lot. But yeah, it's still double elimination. Both could advance in theory. I'm just excited to see them play more than anything.
All right. Well, what about Dark Wanix and Chalky? I know you've been playing with these guys for a while, Savits, even dating back to the Fight Night days, if you can recall that far back, when they were both sharing things. Do you have any opinions on Group B at all?
Well, I think that the Taiwanese players, like, they're some of the best. They're really good players, and I'm actually, from like player perspective, I was really happy when I saw the draw that one of those guys is gonna get knocked out early, kind of, and that they're not in my group. So it's gonna be an exciting match to watch. But the Dark Wanix Chalky match, that's also gonna be amazing. We practice a little bit with Dark Wanix, and I'm familiar with his deck list, and he's familiar with mine. So that's great that I didn't match up against him. I think that he's in a really good spot. I have no information about Chalky and what Chalky is going to be playing, so looking forward to it.
Yeah, well, PinpingHo, an interesting thing about him, by the way, is even though he lives in Taiwan and primarily identifies as a Taiwanese citizen, he was born in the U.S. and moved over at the age of 2. And so I guess he technically has U.S. passport, maybe? Because if you're born in the U.S., you automatically have citizenship. I mean, either way, he lives in Taiwan all the time, but it's one of those things where, like, maybe he's actually a dual citizen. I don't know. Probably should have asked him when he told me that. and the fact is, the 2 guys are also familiar with each other as well. Weifu has a pretty notorious reputation of being a hunter lover. He even kind of bashes.
Nobody's perfect.
He bashes himself a little bit. He says, "You know what? I'm not perfect. I love Undertaker. So what?"
Yeah. Well, doesn't love Undertaker as much anymore, I'm sure.
Nah, he still does. It's unconditional.
Ping, I think, was a big fan of Shaman, from what I remember. I think that was his favorite class.
Oh, what?
Yeah, he
it's
had
the same exact lineup?
Wow.
Oh, they probably prepared together for the event, I'm guessing.
It's possible. Or the meta might also be something like favor Shaman.
That'd be so crazy if in Taiwan, Shaman's like one of the best classes.
That's really impressive. I'm really happy to see that he's playing it here, because it's going to be exciting to watch. Also excited to see what kind of mage lists are running. Is it mech? Is it freeze? Because I think freeze and also fatigue is kind of good for this format, because you can do a hit and run, and you don't get the bad matchup in Game 2 if you win Game 1 also.
Yeah, definitely really strong.
Well, we're about to find out. Game roll between Weifu and PinpingHo, where it looks like the mages got those mech cards.
Here I would keep the Mirror Entity, but I don't think he will. Yeah. Like, against Druid, I'm a big fan of keeping Mirror Entity, especially if you have coin.
It's an excellent card, but I think it's like if you get it from Mad Scientist, it's even better. He doesn't have it in his hand just yet, so I think an argument could be made in favor of keeping it, but yeah.
Yeah, alright, he's playing the more standard list with Azure Drake. Not too uncommon.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Man, that is a bad hand for Drew. I mean, Innervate's usually good to pair it with something.
Oh, look at that.
Okay.
Oh, we're just going in. Alright.
But for the next 4 turns, he stopped decking, and that's pretty scary if you destroy it.
Yeah. Draw Wild Growth, draw Shredder. We'll see. Yeah, it looks really rough for Druid for sure.
It feels like 2 of his heaviest cards outside of his Ancient of Lores, assuming he's playing that and not, more of a slow, rampy type of deck.
If you waifu, this is looking horrible for you, seeing that turn 1 shade, but he's in better position than he knows.
Waifu?
Weifu.
Waifu.
Waifu's my waifu, bro.
There's a cheerful, ready to be made with that exact saying.
Oh, man, well, these hands kind of play themselves, not too much in the way of options. Druid's either going to draw something you can play or hero power.
Oh, wow.
Kazan Mystic. And you know what? There are secrets in this deck.
Keeping Mirror Entity may not have worked out that well.
No, not in this case. That's a really good card to have in here. It's risky to bring it because of the format. Playing Kazan Mystic, because you might not get to match up the deck that you have the Kazan in against the deck with secrets.
Oh,
but
no,
here it's like so good.
Oh man.
Wow, so if he ends up playing the Mirror Entity on curve, it's just going to get stolen.
And it seems likely that he will. Well, maybe not. He's forced to ping afterwards if he plays the Mech Warper here.
Right.
Mech Warper is kind of the only play. I mean, you could coin out the Mirror Entity, but it doesn't feel great. It's a rough spot.
Yeah, if you coin out the Mirror Entity, your next turn is also equally awkward.
That's true.
Yeah, Druid's draw is pretty weak, but, you know, because of no Frostbolt, turn 1 Shade is just going to kind of carry... just going to carry Druid through the early game. This is a matchup that I actually think like heavily favors Mech Mage most of the time. You know, Druid's just historically struggled with a lot of the more aggressive decks, and it's like the Mirror Entity being as good against you as it is, it's so tough to win as Druid. But I mean, this is the kind of situation where it could win. Like, he has Kazan Mystic, which is a huge deal. Third 1 Shade's been super helpful.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. It's a good matchup for the Mage because of how weak the Druid board clear is. Because Druid has one of the weakest AoEs in the game.
Oh, Shredder. That's actually a good pickup, I think.
Yeah, so that way it's not just like a ping and you floating 1 mana.
Yeah.
You actually can get ahead of it, and it challenges the Shade pretty well.
So much work done by the Shade.
Well, so, you know, he brought this Kazan Mystic. Oh, that's a pretty good draw, too.
Really, that was the best possible draw.
I was going to ask, like, is it something that he would drop on curve if he didn't have that? But now I think the answer is much simpler.
You can play it first, because if Mana Wraith comes out, that's going to be pretty bad.
I hate that Mana Wraith and Doomsayer are both cards.
Yeah,
every time I play against it.
Like, you always get the worst one.
Yeah, usually I play around the one that wrecks me more, I guess. Which in this case is Mana Wraith, so you should play it first.
Pretty bad with the Light Well, that's unlucky. Because you're the aggressor here, so the healing is pretty much wasted. Oh.
That Mirror Entity belongs in a museum.
Yeah. I've never actually seen this happen. It has to be the worst feeling. The amount of times I've lost to Kazan Mystic this week is insane. I had to replace my mouse, Dan.
I'm like staring at PinpingHo's face when the Kazan... I mean, or no, Weifu's face when the Kazan comes out. It's gonna be such a disappointment.
It's just because it costs so much mana too. It's 3 mana and just gets stolen from you the opposite way.
Yeah. Oh wow. Yeah. Well, I guess playing
it steals it before it triggers, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But he kept the Cogmaster for it. I mean, that's fair. I mean, what would the Cogmaster really have accomplished if he played it then?
Oh, Weifu, he bit the lip, but still didn't make it any less painful. But yeah, that's what you said. You kept the Cogmaster for that, but that means you can't play, you know, the Drake, for example, and slows everything else
and
down.
it's not a mech, so he won't get the Goblin Blast Mage.
His best draw is probably Clockwork Knight here.
Absolutely, because that would enable the... Wow.
Well,
okay.
This one will go off probably. It's got that going for him.
Unless second Kazan Mystic.
That would be ambitious.
Or Brewmaster.
Brewmaster? Yeah.
Oh man, the Brewmaster would get copied.
I wonder.
Oh, that's true. You're right.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
So that wouldn't work out. Like, I really doubt that he's playing 2 of those.
Yeah, absolutely not. It's one of those interesting things, too, because I think that's definitely something that's made over into the Taiwanese meta, which is pretty different based off, like, you know, because I do talk to a couple of Chinese players here and there, as, you know, you're going to be traveling to China pretty soon, right, Ned? And their meta is similar, but they still have, like, a lot of differences in opinion, which obviously they think they're better than the West End.
By the way, I find it kind of funny when when the Cogmaster gets copied, the Druid actually has a mech on the board, so it's going to be a 3-2.
Ah, that is very funny. The Cogmaster, yeah. Not bad.
Yeah, still looking for Clockwork Gnome. Well, might have to be the play, and you just hope you get really lucky with Blast Mage.
But how lucky can you get?
And you kill Kaz and Mystic. That's it.
That's a long shot, but he's in bad shape, so it might be worth trying. But it's so unlikely. I can't even do the math right now, but it's really unlikely.
So he has to hit 1 out of 4 twice.
Yeah, so
3 shots.
Even though Druid kind of had a weak start, ended up hero powering for a bunch of turns. Usually those are the games you see it losing. But in this case, Kez and Mystic comes out at just the right time. And the Mirror Entity was top deck too, so, you know, Weifu's got to feel kind of bad about having drawn that at all. But
yeah. What do you do here? Like, all the options seem really bad. Seems like he might be going for the gamble. Try to get lucky with the Blast Mage. I mean, I suppose you can also hit 3 times on either the Jaga Jaga or the Piloted Shredder.
Well, he's got to make a decision quick. The rope's burning.
If the Gesan survives, the trade is gonna be amazing for the
Right.
for the 5-4. There we go. Oh, he actually got it! Wow.
That's pretty huge.
Wow, it sure was.
Yeah.
I mean, he still has some really nice plays here.
Keeper's a great draw.
Yeah. You don't need to save it, so he
still
can
my
not
top.
only clear the board, but he can also reinforce it.
That's not as good as Dr. Boom, I think. It's clean, but I would just trade and play Boom. But this is fine, I guess. Honestly, from the Druid side, this is nearly impossible to lose. Like, I don't see a way for
I agree.
Mech to get back in.
Oh, well.
Oh, right,
Yeah,
right.
he
There's an entity in play.
Yeah.
Oh, forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah, it covers it up on the overlay.
Yeah. Completely forgot about that. Definitely better play in this situation than Dr. Boom would have been because of the entity.
Give him a 7-7.
It's not about winning the game, Dan. It's about
making
sending a
statement.
message in.
I get it.
BM.
Feels like he doesn't have to kill off this Keep with the Grove.
I guess. Like, he's so far ahead, he can do whatever he wants. It's not that threatening.
What can Weifu do to climb back in the game, assuming anything?
The Piloted Shredder Doomsayer?
Is it really that time for that kind of play?
I think it is.
Yeah.
I don't see anything else, really. I mean, it can also be an explosive ship. That doesn't help us much.
That's something.
Yeah.
I guess he used it on the Sky, or the mech,
The
right?
Shredder?
Yeah.
The Shredder.
He has to do it. Just hope for the best.
What's he gonna be?
Ooh,
Oh,
that's
wow,
actually
that
really
stings
good.
too.
Yeah.
Oh, man. You can't afford to take that kind of damage from Druid. And it's just so interesting to see like who's become the beatdown in this scenario, where it's obviously switch roles. PinpingHo is in full control.
Yeah, you definitely buff minions here. Kill off Drake. Or I might just go face.
You could just go face too. Yeah. It's the spell power. Often when you see a spell power, you just want to clear it off as fast as you can. But that mech mage, all it runs is like fireballs and frostbolt, so the spell power is almost meaningless in most situations.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's it then. He's done, right? It's
Yeah,
pretty much.
I mean, he can get a free spare part, maybe fireball something. It's just not. Yeah, there's no way for mech to win the game, though.
Druid won't be able to kill him, right? Next turn, if he plays defensively. But still.
No, if he removes the scenarios, he would survive one turn. But it's not a comeback really. Like, it just delays the inevitable.
Yeah, maybe you get to see a card out of your opponent.
Yeah.
So I guess there's still incentive to stay, but Weifu is pretty much done. This mech mage, again, if it falls short that severe in the early game, combined with some of the way that things lined up, like the Kazan Mystics.
He's thinking here if he should go for the free spare pot or just remove that. But it's pretty trivial.
I mean, is there a spare part that could help?
Yeah, freeze would keep that in bay for one turn, but I mean, it doesn't really save him, it only delays.
It's interesting that neither of these players brought Rogue. It's generally considered one of the best decks by a lot of Western players. And,
yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it's just...
And
So that's game, right?
I think he's 1-off. So he can hero power and 1 treant into that, and then he has 9. Like 2 treants and the scenario. So he's 1-off.
I guess I would Wild Growth first and then Black Knight.
We could just Dr. Boomer and keep the Black Knight hidden too.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Black Knight is more important to keep secret than Dr. Boon. I think it's pretty regularly have the boom. I think he's trying to calculate just in case he has it now, but...
I would be really tempted to give the Black Knight hidden here, because it's not a card that all druids run. And if he keeps it as an option, like if he, in his mind, if he plans to bring out the druids to the potential game 4 and 5, it might swing, like affect things.
Yeah, excellent point. Well, that's pretty much going to be it. I don't even think
No.
Yeah, Freeze would do anything. So wraps up game number 1, and PinpingHo has shut down Weifu's Mage. Now keep in mind that these guys have the same exact lineup, so you know there's a realistic possibility that we might see this matchup again, assuming it goes to the black pick.
You think they're both playing the exact same decks too? Maybe the other Druid has Kezan Mystic as well.
It's possible. If they practice together, I think it's even likely. But it's difficult to tell. It's still a card that most druids don't run. So if they didn't practice together, or this is not a thing in Taiwanese meta, then I think most likely there's no Kezan.
I like that choice though. I mean, Mirror Entity is one of the reasons Mech Mage does so well against Druid, and right. I mean, if you Kezan Mystic and Entity, you just like win the game, which is exactly what happened there.
I tried a little bit of the Kezan, but I found Zombie Chow a little bit more consistent, because it kind of also deals with Mirror Entity. It's not as good because you don't get the secret, but it's another way to deal with that, and it works better in some other matchups, like against fast decks with no secrets or so.
Every time I play Zombie Chow, I draw it on like turn 10, and I don't want to play it because I have combo.
I mean, Sviz was in a similar position against that Warlock deck, right? When you were, you had the Zombie Chow, and you're like, well, this thing felt like it was stranded until you realized you had to give up the combo.
That's an interesting card, because on turn 1 it's like the best thing ever, but on turn 10 it's absolutely the worst thing.
Definitely some awkward situations arise from that card, but...
we're about to see Shaman. Excited to see this list. Yeah, Ping, when we casted him during the regular weeks of ESL, that was the most impressive deck I think that I saw that week deck? At least. Yeah, it was. I think he played the week with Zalae or something.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, and yeah, his Shaman deck it was pretty interesting. It was very good. It was like the first refined list that I saw. I went ahead and played it myself on ladder a bit too, but it's definitely his favorite class. He has a golden, all that.
I love Power Mace and Shaman.
Yeah,
when it works, it's so good.
It's an interesting card because it's a bit tricky, even though it's so powerful.
Right.
It's also the mana cost is 3, and all the other good shaman cards are also 3.
Right.
So it's hard to fit in more than one if you want to play.
Yeah. I like the keep here.
Okay. Yeah, so this is a mech shaman.
Yeah.
To some capacity, mech warper. We've seen mech shaman, so to speak, but everyone always be like, is it really mech shaman? You have like 2 or 3 mechs in there.
Yeah.
How can you call it mech shaman? It's like, well...
No, this is actual mech
This
warper.
is actual.
Yeah, this is...
Yeah.
There is no region of the world safe from mech warper anymore. Morality has been thrown out the window. I bet there's lava burst in this deck.
So he opts to keep the coin out here instead of the mech warper. And it's the safer choice to play around Wrath. Would you have gone for that, or would you have just kind of followed this line of play that he's chosen?
I would also done the same play, because in case that the Druid misses the Wild Growth, you give them a good turn too. Because like basically if there's a Wrath but no Wild Growth, then the Druid is forced to hero power, and that's really weak. And now you get to keep the coin and go for a more powerful turn later. Because now if there was a Wrath, and it would have made him be unable to play his minions. So not routing the Mech Warper on turn 3, that would have been completely okay for him.
There we go. Chillwind Yeti. Remember this guy.
Dude.
Still in Hearthstone, believe it or not. Don't see him too often.
We did. We just saw him on turn 1.
Really? Oh, yeah. That's right.
Before Undertaker got hurt.
Yeah, most people choose to go for the piloted Shredder over that, but in this situation it's actually better, because the Power Mace would have taken out the first pot.
I mean, we've seen Piloted Shredder in that deck too, right? It probably plays both.
Oh yeah, that's possible. Or it could be like 2 Shredders and just 1 extra 4-drop, because Druid generally has really few 4-drops.
Is this
like
the
keepers.
burst version that also has like the finishers with lava burst and other cards like that? Because I remember players like Firebat and was it Purple Drank that refined that deck to try and climb the #1 legend?
It could be, but we're seeing a lot of minions. But it's so difficult to say for now because
Oh, I like this play.
because all those mechs are kind of standard anyway.
So yeah, he could have rock bladdered the Mech Warper and traded up there. Instead, he's just gonna let the Yeti live, take something out, and then kill it with Power Mace the next turn.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I might have considered like a Power Mace coin Rock Biter, but this is I agree with this line of play. You get value out of the Mech Warper here playing the Shredder for 3 mana. And the coin is also enabling to play the Coke Master.
Yeah, I just throw it on Lotheb. I mean,
yeah,
Keeper's not bad, but
Yeah, you gotta follow. I think following the curve here is pretty good.
I agree. You can still drop the Keeper next turn. You might not have a good time to play the Lotheb later on. The 5/5 is kind of solid.
It feels like if you drop Lotheb, it's like asking for a Flame Tongue to wreck you, in a way. But
Yeah.
I think.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I think
Pretty good.
even then you still have to accept the consequences, considering that. Okay. Well, going for the board clear as well, safer approach, so that way you don't get destroyed by that.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
even if he kills the Keeper, that's still like 4 damage that's not going to the Druid's face. He can hero power it next turn. Wow.
He's being the one aggressive.
Well, that was quick.
And Shredder doesn't care.
He's the aggressive, more aggressive deck. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Just looking at his hand.
It's interesting to just let Keeper live like that. It's such a good attack. But yeah, I mean, I guess this gives him no hero power play, and it's not like Keeper the Grove's going to do that much. So
Yeah, I really like going for face there, because it's not like the Keeper does anything right now. If he played like a small minion, then he would have to take out the Keeper to protect the other minion. But in this situation, like there's only the piloted Shredder, so if he takes 2 to face, whatever.
yeah, I don't think Mech Shaman usually plays Lightning Storm, so dropping both 3-drops here is not too bad. I think that's better than just Shredder or just Lotheb.
Feel nature's wrath.
I guess, yeah, this lets you kill the front half of Piloted Shredder, so maybe you just go for that play.
Yeah, I guess he's like hoping that maybe there's no mechs and there's like no instant value from
Is
the...
this Mana Wraith? Because it's
Oh!
Does it stop being lit up?
Oh no. Still better than mech though.
Yeah. I mean, at least that way he doesn't get the +2/+2 buff. But you were just talking about this, Reynad.
Yeah, super frustrating, because like, it has an equal chance to be Doomsayer, so playing it first isn't right either.
It's like the worst
it's
deck
like a-
warper of all time.
It's like a disaster.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of affects both players
yeah,
here.
that's true. Like the Shaman has just as many problems. Because if that wasn't the mana rate, he could go for Lotheb, or he could drop a 2-drop and a 3-drop. But now it's like, okay, looks like a totem. Or, oh, it's so weak.
I mean, you just attack with the weapon no matter what you play.
Yeah,
But,
probably.
yeah.
And he already saw Keeper out, so I kind of like the Spider Tank here and just get it buffed. How does a Druid really remove 5/6? Not that easily.
Yeah, and also fights ahead. Oh, let's see. What can they do on 7 mana with a Mana Wraith? I guess he could kill off the Mana Wraith and drop Ancient of Lore as well, so it contests it. Alright, favors sliding a little bit more mana efficiency, getting a hero power in.
This is a bit scary if there was a Black Knight.
Very well could be drawn, but Black Knight... Actually, it could be Blades. Oh, man. That Ancient of Lore draw.
Yeah.
One kind of
It
drawback
stinks.
to playing mech version of Shaman is that your totems aren't really threats. Like, usually when you're playing against Shaman, you have to kill every single totem because it's just... It makes Flame Tongue so scary, it makes Defender of Argus huge as well. It's just... but when you're playing against the mech version, it's just pretty much only Flame Tongue. It's really not that big of a deal. There aren't Lightning Storms to get spell power bonuses. It's just... You know, weaving in a hero power is nice there, but... for the most part, it can be ignored by Druid.
Yeah.
That's a really excellent point. I think they still do have, well, assuming this is more the aggressive version, it could be very much their own style of Mech Shaman, but they have those Flametongue Tones still in the deck because they combine it with the Whirling Zap-O-Matic that does Wind Fury into 3-2. And you combine that with like Rock Biter and just win the game.
I'm just staring at the mana rate. Like, it makes this turn so bad.
I mean, he wanted to protect it, right? That was a,
yeah.
So it's like in this scenario
Worked
where
out.
it's so annoying for the Druid.
Wait. Oh, man.
Wow.
Oh, man.
Oh.
That is just the best mana wraith ever.
And he gets to kill off this big game hunter as well. Assuming he's not just trying to rush his opponent down. Crackle.
It really paid off to play the Annihilation last turn, since there was no answer to it. It was like a small gamble in my mind, but it worked out so well here. Like, the mana rate was just completely untouchable and made the Druid turn bad.
So, you know, back in the day, I remember seeing somebody laddered with Mana Wraith in their deck at one point.
Really?
Grindstone.
Yeah, it was Grindstone, yeah. It was like this weird, interesting Shaman deck. I don't remember why exactly, I just remember seeing it.
Because he didn't play any of the 3-drops. Like, he didn't have Unbound or Harvest Golem, so he would play Mana Wraith and then follow up with Feral Spirit. And it was really good against aggro. It's still like a fine choice in Shaman, but it's not like, I don't know, it's not really necessary in the deck.
Sure.
More important cards to usually fit. He's going to go with this. That's super
This is kind of interesting
surprising to me.
Yeah.
I would have played the 3-drops. I think that's
Me
a
too,
lot
definitely. Both of the 3-drops. There's so much stats on the board. There's no way Druid can clear that. And also the low TP effect right now seems a bit irrelevant.
Well, you also have burn spells too, so you might have been able to push for lethal.
Yeah, I guess that's what she's thinking about.
3, 4, 7, 10. Nah, he would have almost guaranteed lethal, assuming his opponent couldn't. Oh no, he would have had Lothab to deny that as well, so I guess you can't guarantee that. Well, what you gonna do, Weifu?
Well, pretty much have to Dr. Boom. Well, these players are really patient with their turns. They're going down to the rope almost every time, really thinking things through. And it makes a lot of sense. I mean, they traveled from all the way across the world. They really want to perform well. Yeah, haven't really seen any mistakes so far. It's paying off.
Such a tough spot. I agree with this. He needs to turn the game around, even though it's a bit risky and he might die now. It's like if you lure, you're just playing not to lose instead of to win.
Oh, Spell Power Totem. And that's more than enough. That's the highest roll possible.
Alright, that's some value for 2 mana.
Yeah.
7 to face.
Alright, so PinpingHo is he's up 2-0 over Weifu. And these series have been pretty one-sided so far in terms of the outcomes. And even though it feels like these guys, like you said, Ray, I don't really feel like I noticed mistakes, so to speak.
Yeah. Surprising to see Mech Shaman, though, like of all classes. Now, does Ping have Mage? That's like the one deck he hasn't brought out yet, right?
I would expect a Mech Mage.
I think it's Mage versus Shaman on the other end.
So he's playing 4 Mech Warpers, which is pretty impressive. It's 2 aggressive decks. A lot of times you wouldn't expect that going up against him. You'd expect a lot of mid-range decks, I think, for a format like this. Stuff that's generally good for ladder, rogue, stuff like that. But yeah, more of an aggressive strategy. Cool to see.
It could be something else than the Mech Mage, but I would really expect to see it because, in my opinion, the Mech Mage is slightly stronger than the Mech Shaman is. So if you kind of value the Mech, if you feel like the Mech Shaman is worth bringing, then you probably also think that Mech Mage is good.
You could also like really want to bring Freeze Mage, so you can't really.
Yeah, it's
possible. You still want an aggressive deck, so you go Shaman.
I can't quite remember if he played in the qualifiers, if he played some kind of Mage, or what was it? Or did he play Mage at all?
I don't feel like PinpingHo played Mage. I don't remember seeing it. I remember seeing a lot of Shaman. I remember seeing Druid. I don't remember seeing much else, though. It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
PinpingHo, of course, he is capable of playing anything, though. I wouldn't be surprised if he's a different kind of Mage, but Mech Mage is the one that's been really dominant.
Definitely. It's just like a really good proactive strategy, and it really is just one of the only good aggressive decks. It's one of the reasons it's so strong. It's kind of like why Zoo was really good for tournament play for a long time, because it was the only good aggro deck. It was kind of... it was tough to prepare for it, right? Because if 4 of the 5 decks you play against are going to be control, you kind of tweak your deck towards that. So
I can see a blast mage.
Ah, it's another mech mage. All right.
Surprise.
So I think this matchup favors Shaman, doesn't it? Or is it kind of
All right,
close?
so it's a mech shaman
Actually,
as
don't
well.
know.
So this confirms that they're playing the same identical decks.
Yep. So if Shaman draws Power Mace, that's going to give it a huge edge. If it
For sure.
doesn't, it's going to be a little bit harder. I mean, I'm not even sure if Coin is good or bad in this matchup. Like, would you rather go first?
I have no idea.
It's a matchup that hasn't been explored very much either,
Yeah.
because we haven't seen much shamans try to contend for the top of the ladder.
Yeah, I have to admit that I'm a bit unfamiliar with the mech shaman list. Like, what are matchups and what are good matchups, what are bad ones?
This is probably just straight up 50-50, I would guess. I mean, both decks are kind of equally good at.
Oh, that sucks.
Doing it then.
One turn late with the Cogmaster. But I guess it would have meta the Rockbiter. But at least it would have stopped the mech warpers then. Oh, there's the power mace that you talked about right now.
Yeah, it's a huge draw. It's going to be tough to come back from this.
Sure.
Well, even just having that mech warper and being able to smash down your opponents is still pretty big, with fitting that one-mana spell in.
Yeah. I know it's really early to say this, but I actually have no idea how Mage can win from this point. Like, knowing the hands, the Shaman just goes Power Mace into Shredder, or Shredder into Power Mace, which is what's going to happen because Mech Warper's going to live.
I think that the best way is that if the Shaman keeps drawing non-minions, if he draws like a bunch of spells,
Yeah, that
like
could
just
happen.
and PinpingHo keeps removing the existing ones, something like that. But it's definitely gonna be really hard.
Yeah, especially since he's able to benefit so much off this mech warper and effectively gain what, at least 2-3 mana
Guide me.
off of it and get so ahead in the tempo game.
Wow. That power mace. 6 damage and a Houndmaster buff.
Yeah, card's just insane. Yeah, when you are playing the more aggressive version of this deck. I mean, I feel like most Shamans play Power Mace, but the question of like, do they go all in with Mech Warper, or are they playing more of a mid-range strategy with some piloted shredders?
What to do? What to do?
So, what to do?
It's a good question.
How do
I'm
you
not
turn this
exactly sure.
around?
I think, because you know that Power Mace is going to activate and buff things too. Maybe your best bet is to try to get Mad Scientist to disrupt the board a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. Because the piloted Shredder, the first part would just straight up die with the weapon.
And Cogmaster's not a bad draw.
Not at all. Like, how much mana has he already gotten from his
Guide me.
Mech Warper?
2 so far, right? He played the Neutron and the
Not
Spy.
that much, I guess.
Oh no, he played. Oh yeah, he hasn't played the Pilot Shredder.
Yeah. Okay, so it hasn't actually been
Okay.
that much, but he's gonna get a bunch more.
Yeah, he's had the option to play a 3-mana piloted shredder, but that's just like a testament to the power of Power Mace, right? He's playing it over a 3-mana shredder, which is insane. It's probably not where he wanted that buff.
No. But it's still something. It's a bit annoying. I'm sure he would have loved to take out the Mad Scientist with the Neutron.
Well, still being pretty meticulous about it. Weifu is definitely trying to go as slow as possible to the value of everything.
Oh, he actually killed it.
Yeah, it's gonna let a Neutron survive.
I might have considered just going for face and kind of deny the mage from getting the secret up. I mean, sure, now the Neutron is gonna live, but mage kind of needed the secret to have a chance.
Yeah, you missed.
Oh wow,
No, miss.
amateurs.
Oh my god.
Are you serious?
These guys don't like Mage.
Wow.
He's gonna steal his mirror entity. He's gonna trade first to figure it out.
Well, if the game was tough for Mage before, I think
It's not gonna get any easier.
The
Yeah.
light does not discriminate.
this is just like BGH for them.
Yeah. That's. I was like, I feel like that was one of his last chances, honestly, so that way he can fight back on board. But like now he's gonna be so far behind, and he has no comeback. It's not like he's gonna get Flame Strike. Doomsayer.
Oh, well, you can Fireball the 4-3 and played. Oh no, you can't.
Yeah, about Mirror Entity.
Yeah, you have to play Snow Sugar. This overlay, man.
Yeah, he wants to get the Dr. Boom out, so he had to play it here. So much damage.
Is that a good draw? I can't.
There is no good draw.
I think there's no real bad draw.
I mean, no bad draw. That's what I meant. Yeah, no bad draw.
Ah, look at that.
Flame Strike, maybe.
Flame Strike is his only hope, and even then, he still might get lethal next turn. That's it. Weifu strikes back, and we are going to game number 4 to see whether or not he can bring it back here.
Yeah, impressive showing from Mech Shaman. I don't think it's lost yet, right?
No.
Yeah, 2 for 0, 2 for 2.
And the games didn't even seem that close. Like, it was really one-sided games.
Yeah. I mean, it did draw Power Mace, which is a big deal.
Yeah.
Much better draw than Mage. But, you know, still.
That's true. Mage
like
did miss its turn 1. Couldn't deal with Mech Warper pretty effectively.
Yeah. Would have been a different game if he had the Gok Master on turn 1.
Yeah, or even like a Frostbolt. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that too.
All right, so now we enter the blind pick phase. For anybody not familiar with the format, you can choose any deck that you want. Doesn't really matter, and you win or lose. And it goes all the way until whoever wins the best of 5. And this is with the pretense that you know everyone's decks here. So based off that, what do you think is the best choice here for both guys if they're running the same decks?
Well, I think all 3 of their decks are good, but they're probably going to go with comfort picks. I mean, in terms of matchups, I guess Druid is the worst choice, right? Because it has a hard time against the other 2.
Maybe. I'm kind of thinking that I would not bring the Mage, just in case that you get match up against the Shaman, because the Shaman has the Kezan Mystics, and also it seemed like a really good deck to play against Mage, even if you don't show this. I would not be surprised to see a Mech Shaman mirror here.
That makes the most sense. And it's Ping's favorite class. Might just be a comfort pick, too. So.
Sure.
Probably going to see a lot of Shaman.
It's just interesting considering that you know they're from Asia, and you know we don't really consider Shaman that good in the West, unless I'm missing something, right? So because I talked to Raina about this earlier, but what is your thoughts on Shaman currently?
Well, I haven't had that much success with it. Actually, before this event, I was practicing Shaman like mad. It was not a Mech Shaman list, but I practiced it a lot. But on the last minute, I just went through the statistics and stuff, and it was not very pretty. I couldn't get the win rate up where I wanted it, so I ended up not going with it. But
well, it's Shaman versus Mage, but this time once more we flip the perspectives here. PinpingHo is going to be on the Shaman. That was a good call right now. And Mech Mage is going to be with Weifu. And of course, PinpingHo, he wins this. He faces the winner between Chalky and Dark Wanix.
Yeah, got to give the edge to Ping if he has Kezan Mystic in his deck. I mean,
absolutely.
It's going to be an uphill battle. And Power Mace, of course. I mean, it's just the most insane card in this matchup. Mage is just full of all these 2/3 minions. And to be able to play Power Mace in a deck that's equally aggressive, that's just pushes it over the top. I think Coin's also a big deal. Coin will definitely give the player an edge because it's going second gives you way better odds of having a perfect curve.
Yeah, if you're going first and you have a Gok Master, then that's excellent. But going first and not having it is really bad.
Yeah, you need like a perfect 1, 2, 3, 4 if you go first.
Oh wow. Well, this time it's not looking so pretty for the Mech Shaman.
Nope.
Oh,
that helps control.
Oh, that helps.
There's, you know, there's the Snow Chugger.
The Yeti's a good draw. Fits into the curve pretty well.
This double Fireball's not so good either.
Oh, it's a good draw too.
Just playing it to trade.
Trade for the 1-drop, but it's still good.
Yeah, with the hero power there, he would fell behind on the board.
So having to attack Snow Sugar with Power Mace means that Power Mace won't be able to attack the turn after, but still probably the play.
Yeah, it has to be. You don't want to leave that up because there might be like a Tinkertown coming or maybe even Blast Mage. You can just play it as a 5/4 in this matchup, I mean.
Yeah, the Shredder into Yeti draw is really strong here.
Oh man. Shredder. Also, I mean, you get the Blast Mage to follow up too. You can evaluate what happens.
What do you think about playing the Piloted Shredder over the
It's better.
Yeti?
Because if you play Yeti, you're just going to play Shredder the turn after anyway. So either way, when Power Mace can attack, it'll be able to kill the Shredder. But this is better in case he plays like a 2-3, so you can put damage on your Shredder before it gets Power Mace.
Yeah, makes sense.
Whether to trade or not, it's a different story. It's actually really tough.
Yeah. And of course the sequencing too. How everything pans out.
I wonder.
Hitting it 3 times with the Blast Mage would be really good, but seems unlikely.
Win 3 coin flips out of 4?
Yeah. Well, it's like not that unlikely.
Yeah.
But
it's a fine play to go for here.
It kind of sucks though if you hit it 2 times. But it's still not too bad.
First, then you might stop the Shaman from having an attack for Power Mace. Okay.
Wow.
So
Interesting.
He's forced to ping that now.
Yeah, it's 4-1 here has too much damage.
considering playing Yeti anyway. No, you have to ping.
If you're a bit newer player, it might look like, oh, that's such a horrible card to get because it dies to the hero power. But actually, the 2 mana loss from the mage is pretty big, and that Death Rattle kind of favored the shaman, in my opinion.
Yeah, because now he fell behind a little bit in the mana, or in tempo rather. He did draw a mech so that he can benefit off of his power mace synergy.
Yeah, this is huge.
It's a 5/6.
What an absolutely insane card. Like, in this matchup. How do you beat Power Mace?
I don't know.
I don't know. I guess you have to ooze it or something before he has anything else.
But then they still get the buff.
Clear
So,
yeah, it's so difficult.
Silence the weapon.
another good draw. The curve fill out.
Might not even attack. I mean, there's no point. He's just gonna heal up.
Yeah. You actually could
Goes
just
for the-
pass.
yeah.
The effect is about the same.
Goes for the BM attack then.
But if you want to finish your beatdown quest to do 100 damage to heroes,
Oh, that's
you attack
right.
the face.
So it's correct to go face.
Yes. Well, I mean, Mech Mage is just so far behind.
Yeah, next turn's probably going to be Spider Tank Blast Mage, so I
Right.
mean, you could Fireball to try to set that up, take some less damage, but Yeti's probably got to be the play.
Yeah.
Just ping the Cogmaster.
Flame Tongue is gonna get a lot of work done. It's gonna
Yeah.
enable the Cockmaster to strike
Oh
with it.
man, you're so right. Flame Tongue, and you can also squeeze an Azure Drake in there too. That is tough.
It's a close call, because if there's no Flame Tongue, then the Yeti could potentially get a 2-for-1. I can't blame him with this. Seeing the cards, the Fireball would have been better, but yeah.
What are you pinging?
Probably the Spider, or the Tinker Town.
He's just risking the Flame Tongue. Please don't have it. But there it is.
Well, he's got
Oh,
2.
wow.
And that's going to be really good for PinpingHo, but I'm pretty sure he's going to try to draw first to see what he gets off his Azure Drake.
Yep.
Maybe get something better. Probably rare, though. And now it's like the Shaman's finally sees firm control of the board. He can start being aggressive and do some damage.
Alright, well, Stealth Antonitis, there it is.
Dr.
Could be a
Boom
time
into
for
Stealth
it.
Antonitis, but will he take too much damage by then?
Yeah.
Well, he's got to try.
15,
It's like
19, 20 damage right
dead
now?
already. How much is that? Wow.
20 damage, if I count correctly.
Reversing Switch.
Oh, it's
Flame Tongue
reversing
is really
switch.
good.
21 damage.
So you just give something like 4 extra health. Pretty funny. And 1 extra attack. Yeah, it would be an 8/7.
Yeah.
If you
8, yeah. 21 damage if you use the reversing switch. It's a lot. And you're not afraid of dying on the other end either.
Oh, he's gonna trade for it. Oh, never mind. Oh, he is trading. Just want to trade that one.
Well, if these players
Okay.
know each other's lists, they'll know there's no Flame Strike. And
Right.
yeah.
So he's able to play as liberally as he wants. Because you can play around Big Game Hunter by sliding it in next.
I think you just keep the flame tugs next to each other and put stuff on the side of them. But it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, ultimately, I think he realizes that he's pretty far ahead. I'm sure there's some positioning things or whatnot he could have done a little bit better, but I don't think he had the ability to kill him, right?
No. Actually kind of missed what he was signaling there, like what was a mistake.
Yeah.
What to do?
That positioning, man.
Yeah, something with the positioning.
Alright, well, it's time for Blast Mage. Just see what happens.
Blast Mage. What does he need to do to survive? If he Blast Mage and kills off the Zap-O-Matic...
Tesla.
Oh, no. He would... Okay. This is one way. The Blast Mage would have to kill off one of those minions. Like, say it hits the Agitate 4 times. Then you hit the Zap-O-Matic and it kills off, like, Tinker Town Technician for 4 damage.
Yeah, I mean, you have to roll a lot of 4s up Boombots. I think that's already game. But
Okay.
maybe not. I mean, I guess you run one Boombot into Whirling Zap-O-Matic.
Right. See what happens.
It's like you need to take out two of those bigger minions with those boombots.
This Zap-O-Matic is such a big threat. Oh,
Alright, well that's a start.
okay. So this had to snipe the Azure Drake or something.
Yeah. Either that or that. Well, I guess
he's
that,
alive.
that's okay.
Yeah, but yeah,
That works. Okay.
Alright, well, he's still in this.
Yeah, those were pretty sweet boombots.
I mean,
Yeah,
Shaman's out of cards.
Shaman draws...
Oh.
Okay. I was going to say Alfred.
Wah, wah.
I told you it's in there, man. The
well.
scumbaggery.
Looks like the perfect time to draw
Lava
it.
Burst is the most BM card in Hearthstone.
That's it
Never
for the
use it on
series. Looks like I think PinpingHo is going to be able to win this match and go on and face the winner of Chalky vs. Dark Wanix. A little unfortunate again that the two Taiwanese players have to match up after what seems to be like their practice partners with each other. But that's just how it is, I guess, sometimes with the luck of the draw.
Yeah, I mean, they can both still advance. Ping's actually... him and Zale are like my two favorites for winning a tournament. I think Ping's played really well every time I've seen him play.
What do you think about Savitsa's chances?
Third. Or no, second maybe. I don't know. I
Pretty
forgot your
bad
decks,
right
to be
now.
honest. It depends
Yeah.
on the decks mostly.
I had Hunter, Druid, and
Rogue?
Rogue, yes.
Right. Your Druid had MC Tech and BGH and Harrison,
Yeah, and you drew it all.
which is like,
Very
yeah.
early game, which was unfortunate.
It's gonna be rough to come back from losers brackets against players like this. I mean,
Yeah,
No
definitely.
worries.
it's a
No worries.
stacked top eight.
You play Max first, right? And then you'll play Silent Storm. In the meantime, Weifu will drop to see what happens in the group. But he's not out yet, and neither is PinpingHo advancing just yet. That's just the first match of Group B. But we're about 2/3 of the way done throughout the day so far. What do you think about the play, Reynad?
I've barely seen any mistakes at all. Yeah, really good play so far, for sure. I mean, just a couple small things here and there, nothing huge. The caliber of players definitely gone up a lot over the course of the past year of competitive Hearthstone. So it's nice to see players that were kind of unheard of before playing exceptionally well, having good decks. Just, yeah, super impressive stuff.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we've been having a lot of fun here, guys, at the event. I know some of the fans here have been meeting Reynads and some of their favorite players, so they've been having a lot of fun too. And if you are enjoying it, make sure to hashtag HLS or tweet at ESL Hearthstone. Let us know some of your favorite moments. Also send some of your memes because we're going to have a competition, see who can do the best memes from the weekend. They'll win some packs as well. We might even show them on screen if they're good enough. We'll see. We'll see how things go. We also want to give a big shout out to Gigabyte, who's also hopped on to sponsor this entire event. They've been doing a great job trying to support us to help us do the things that we love, which is basically this: card games, cards, starring cards. That trailer, man, that Honest Game trailer was so good.
Yeah, I remember that.
All right, well, we're ready with Anastasia. She has PinpingHo right now, right next to her. So let's hear his thoughts about that series.
Thank you very much, Frodan. I am joined here with the winner, PinpingHo from Wei Spider, beating out Weifu 3-1. Congratulations, first of all.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. How does it feel to beat out your fellow Taiwanese player?
Well, when I first found out that we'll be playing each other on the first round, like we are a little bit disappointed because we both know each other's decks and we really want to use it on someone who doesn't know about it.
That is unfortunate, but that's what you get for showing your deck to your friends. You know, there's no friends in competition. Now, I did hear that you actually, correct me if I'm wrong, when you were in the ESL Legendary Series, there was something like 4 players that eliminated you before you got in. So every week, there was one player 4 times, different times, that they beat you. And now, are you thirsty for revenge? Are you excited to beat them?
You mean a qualifier tournament?
Yes, yes.
It's like I actually qualified like twice out of 6 tries. It's like it's actually pretty good, I think. So.
All right. So, what are your now that you're here in America? It is your first time in America, is it not?
No, I'm actually born in America.
Where in America were you born?
San Diego.
Wow. Well, what are some of your favorite things about America then?
Better traffic than Taiwan, maybe.
Really, even here in LA? I mean, the traffic here in LA is not the best.
Still better. It's like in Taiwan's traffic, like there's so many motorcycles and cars. Like it's just a chaos. Yeah.
All right, well, what are some of your predictions for the next game? Because you will be playing against the winner of Chalky versus Darkwonix. Who are you looking forward to go against? Who would you like to win? What do you think is going to happen?
I think Chalky is going to win. Apparently, he's a very good aggro player, and he actually beat me in one of the match day.
Well, Chalky, I hope you heard that. The shots were fired. Apparently, Chalky, somebody wants to fight against you. So best of luck to everybody in the next groups. For those of you that are just tuning in, don't go anywhere. We will be right back. It is going to be a match of Darkwonix versus Chalky, and we'll be right back with the Hearthstone Legendary Series finals right here